Well, today marks 60 years since Bloody Sunday in Selma, Alabama. On this day in 1965, hundreds of civil rights advocates gathered for a march for voting rights. And this was the result. They were marching from Selma to the state capital of Montgomery, but those demonstrators were met by police officers and state troopers who pushed them back cruelly and brutally, beating them. The violence was condemned around the country and led to the passage of the Voting Rights Act later that year. May we never forget, right? Let's get to CBS News correspondent Elise Preston. She is live in Selma, Alabama. History made. Elise, so many people behind you today, especially in this environment when DEI programs are being pulled and so many of the gains that were hard fought for seem to be pulled back. People are telling us, don't forget this day.
Yeah. Yes, and that is why the groups that are behind us, Reed, they are children. This group right here in the yellow T-shirts, they came from a school that is in Atlanta, in the Atlanta area. So they drove 3 hours, right? Because their principal, we spoke with them, they said that we cannot forget this. And so this anniversary, that's what we're seeing over the course of the weekend. So many people are coming out here to honor what those foot soldiers did that day. What people fought for during the civil rights movement in general. And so 60 years later, they're saying that a lot of those problems that were happening at that time are still going on today. We spoke with a parent who came out here with his middle schooler, and he said, you know, it's still a concern for me because you look around and in so many communities, there are still black and brown voters that are being disenfranchised. So people want their children, especially, to soak this in. So we're right now at this Civil Rights Memorial Park. The kids walked over the Edmund Pettus Bridge. It's right behind us. Let's kind of shift over this way. They walked over this bridge, which is where the marchers attempted to cross 60 years ago. It wasn't until they didn't make it to the Capitol until March 25th. So there are 3 attempts to march from Selma to Montgomery as they were marching for their voting rights. So today there were elementary school kids, middle school kids, high school kids who walked across that same bridge. We were in the crowd with them. They were singing freedom songs. They came into here, which is now the Civil Rights Memorial Park. And what is so incredible, Reed, is that so many of those foot soldiers we know have gone. They are no longer with us, but there are some foot soldiers that are down here in this memorial park, and so the children have been performing for them. They've been thanking them for everything that they did 60 years ago and things that they continue to do. People are not letting that story be forgotten.
I just have to ask you, I love your heart, you know that, we talk offline. What does today mean for you when you see this next generation out there learning, carrying the torch, speaking from the heart in that community? What are you feeling right now?
You know, it is surreal, Reed. I was about their age when I learned about Selma. And so it's been incredible to see these children. We spoke with one girl who's 18. She's getting ready to go to college, to study, to become a teacher. She said that today was especially important to her because her grandmother was here on Bloody Sunday. Her grandmother recently passed, but it meant a lot for her to be out here today to honor her grandmother and those other foot soldiers. So it's incredible to see, but we're also hearing that there's still much more work to be done, Reed, and that's what a lot of these folks are out here saying. We will be here throughout the weekend, so I'm sure that it will continue to be a surreal feeling.
One day, Glory, my kids are going to be listening to that song, Sunday, Bloody Sunday. We'll be watching the movie about Selma, and may they never forget the good trouble. Elise Preston, nice sharing the airways with you. Please tell all of those kiddos and their teachers back there we love them.